So next I have John Howley, followed by Oscar Sodani and Doug Goldenberg-Hart. So, Mr. Howley.
My name is John Howley, and I've lived with my family, including our 2 children, in Forest Estates since 1989. We're all regular users of the Metro and have seen many injuries and accidents at the intersection. In 2005, the Gazette reported that the 3 intersections with the most reported injuries all cluster along Georgia Avenue at Seminary Road, the Capitol Beltway, and Forest Glen Road. A horrendous vehicle crash occurred in 2003 when a driver went through a red light and hit a car, killing 5-year-old Kelly Pierre. Of course, Forest Glen in Georgia is not the only deadly intersection in our county. What makes the situation uniquely dangerous is the conjunction of an overcapacity intersection and a busy metro station. The metro stations at Silver Spring, Wheaton, and Glenmont all have passageways allowing pedestrians safe access to either side of the adjacent thoroughfare. We need the same at Forest Glen. As best we can determine, at least 4 pedestrians have been struck by cars this year alone at the intersection. On April 28th, Howard Cross was crossing Georgia with the walk signal. A mother with a baby in a stroller and a 5-year-old child were crossing at the same time. A car turned right onto Georgia Avenue and did not yield to the pedestrians in the crosswalk. The car hit the stroller and sent it rolling away. Mr. Cross suffered a broken ankle, cuts on his face, and bruises. Thankfully, the mother and the little ones were not injured. On August 29th, I personally witnessed the aftermath of another incident. Driving through the intersection, I saw bystanders assisting an elderly man to rise from the pavement in the middle of the intersection. On August 30th, same day of the ceremony for the new pedestrian bridge over the Capitol Beltway, 2 pedestrians were injured in the Forest Glen, Georgia intersection, according to police reports. There are probably many more. We just don't know. When we add in all of the development planned and proposed for areas north of the intersection, we who live nearby to this intersection can only say that traffic is out of control at Forest Glen in Georgia. Action is urgently needed to improve pedestrian safety at this intersection, and we thank you for all your work in this area.
Okay, thank you very much. Next is Oscar.
Hi, my name is Oscar Sodani. I live a 10-minute walk from the Forest Glen Metro Station. My wife and I work in Town in D.C., and when we moved to our neighborhood, one of the prime reasons was the Forest Glen Metro Station being nearby. We were glad for the chance to take Metro every day to work. That's no longer the case. Our 10-minute walk to the Metro was anything but pleasant. Crossing the intersection of Georgia Avenue and Forest Glen is a nightmare. That first year we witnessed many accidents and we had numerous near misses ourselves. When you cross that intersection with the light, you leave your life in the hands of harried drivers who are turning right on red or running red lights. After almost getting squashed by one such driver, my wife and I had had it. We started to do what many other pedestrians do. We take our opportunity and jaywalk. I'm from New York City. Jaywalking is a natural thing for me. But it didn't take long before we realized that jaywalking was a worse option. So what we started to do was drive the 10-minute walk to the Metro. And that was not cost effective, so now we don't take the Metro at all. We just drive all the way into work. So now the shoe is on the other foot. As a driver who goes to that intersection every day at rush hour, I bear no ill will to the pedestrians who choose to dodge traffic. I don't honk at the people who fail to make it across the intersection in the allotted time. We always drop our speed well below the speed limit because you never know when a pedestrian will start to cross. And you never know when there's going to be a group stuck at the tiny median in that intersection. The congestion is well documented. I personally add 10 to 15 minutes to my morning commute just to get that one light across. I urge you, please, to fix this intersection. As a resident, as a former pedestrian, as a driver. As it is, I will not let my family walk to the Metro. I have a sense of dread every time I drive through it. I feel that constructing a new Metro entrance on the east side of Georgia Avenue is the responsibility of our government in order to protect its citizens. And I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Doug?
Thank you. My presentation is entitled How Pedestrians Cope, or When Good Pedestrians Do Bad Things. My name is Doug Goldenberg-Hart. I live at 10305 Julep Avenue in Forest Estates subdivision of Silver Spring. And I take the Metro every day to work from the Forest Glen Metro Station. Every morning and every evening I must cross the congested and dangerous Georgia Avenue Forest Glen intersection, and each and every time I do it, I'm relieved when I get across without incident. And I wonder how long my luck and the good fortune of other pedestrians will last here. I'm here to urge you to support the construction of the pedestrian tunnel from the east side of Georgia Avenue to the Metro Station for my safety and the safety of my neighbors. The typical path of folks living east of Georgia Avenue is to cross from the northeast corner of this intersection to the northwest corner. Because of the usual behavior of drivers, well documented by others, right turns without using signals, without checking for pedestrians in the crosswalk, left turns from Forest Glen onto Georgia Avenue that cheat the caution arrows, and that happens every day, pedestrians have adapted for our safety. We go early because the light's too quick. We go across Georgia Avenue well north of the intersection, jaywalking. Once across Georgia, we take a diagonal path outside of the crosswalk to the Forest Glen Metro entrance. We do this for our safety because if we cross at the crosswalk, we run the risk of getting hit by drivers taking a quick right turn without looking. At night, we just reverse this process. We take a diagonal path across Forest Glen and then cross, cheating the arrows like the drivers do to get across a light that goes too quickly. Individually, this behavior is rational. Collectively, it's not. In fact, it adds to the chaos at the intersection. We'd like for you to help us help ourselves and stop doing things that are individually rational but collectively dangerous for drivers and for us. Help us build the Forest Glen Metro entrance from the east side of Georgia Avenue.
Okay, thank you. If you three could stick around too for questions. Next, we'll go to Shawn Jarosz, Joseph Davidson, and Sheldon Fishman. Shawn, you want to start?
Thank you. My name is Shawn Jarosz. I am, too, a resident of the Forest Estates neighborhood, and I echo other concerned neighbors and urge the county and state to build an east entrance to the Forest Glen Metro Station to safeguard pedestrians. And my comments will highlight the intersection from the pedestrian perspective again, and especially crossing at night and during inclement weather. And now that we are in the darker days of winter, we're starting to see that pedestrian deaths and injuries tend to increase. Many of us cross before the sun rises, and many of us cross after the sun sets, when pedestrians are harder to see in the crosswalks. And we found that with many of the drivers focused on entering and exiting the beltway, many of us wear reflective vests. If we're not jaywalking and using the crosswalks, we're using reflective vests and blinking lights to ensure that we can be seen. When we have severe weather conditions such as ice, snow, fog, it's creating even more safety hazards. When you see pedestrians and cars sliding at the crosswalks, it's quite dangerous. And it's extremely important for me and all of our neighbors for the delegation to see the pedestrian perspective, and we invite each and every one of you to cross this intersection with us, to do it at you're shaking your head because you understand, to do it with us at night during the evening rush hour, to do it in the morning rush hour, to do it when the rain is pouring down or if it's slick and snow and ice. Try to navigate when the snow is piled at the intersection and you're trying to cross over into the intersection. It's extremely important. We have 23 signal seconds to get across, and that's on a clear day. When it's congested and it's severe weather conditions and it's dark, it takes a lot longer. So we invite you to do it with us, do it with your children, do it while pushing a stroller, or try it in a wheelchair, or try it in a walker. And please join us and help us to build this tunnel under the intersection and get us out of the mix. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.